Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to The Author Spotlight, where we feature authors from around the world. Our next guest today, we're very excited about her because her business has blown up during this pandemic. She's a certified HANA somatic educator trained by the Novatio Institute for Somatic Research and Training. What that means is she's going to get you moving and she's going to get you feeling more healthy and more alive than ever. She's been in this field of health and wellness for over 30 years as a personal fitness trainer. And since the 80s with Jack LaLanne, there's a name you know, and for the last 20 years has been certified as a somatic educator. She's a dancer, a singer, and loves sports. She's dedicated her life to motivate people to live a vibrant life. She's an expert on trauma and chronic pain, and she's here to help you function, to get your function back, to get your unction back, and end the chronic pain, improve your strength, and improve your self-confidence. So what I want you to do is I want you to help me welcome Linda Anna Smith from Orange County, California. How are you, Linda?
Oh, from San Marcos, but San Diego.
There you go. A little further south. Get you a little further south there. I'm trying to move you north up to OC.
Trying to get me up there.
So great to have you here today. And thank you for joining us on a busy Sunday, and you're helping us get really healthy. So, wow, I didn't realize you had Jack LaLanne connection. That's really cool. I want you to tell me, though, if we have time at the end, I'll ask you about that. But what is your book, Divine Unwind, all about?
So I have developed this book with 30 movements that can heal the body in 30 days. So it's 30 devotionals and 30 movements that will heal the body.
Where'd you go, exciting. Michael? Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I just we were having some background noise there, but tell us a little bit about with what's in the book. What are the somatic movements?
So the somatic movements are movements you did when you were a kid up until about the age of 10. We have these wonderful movement patterns that God designed into us to keep us limber and fluid and healthy. And at about age 10, because we're aware of our peers, we stop moving, also because of fear and what other people think. So we might become a runner or a biker, but we may not do other things like playing around and dancing in the living room. Anyway, these movements are very intelligent movements. And so these 30 movements really change the nervous system, the muscles, and the dendrites sprouting in the brain.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So I love something you said there. We became aware. So basically through peer pressure, we stopped moving like we did when we were children. Right. I know you work with a lot of people in nursing homes and things like that, and you have your own programs, but I want you to tell us a little more. You had mentioned trauma and pain. Can you speak about that and how your book can help people who struggle with these issues?
Yes, so I have worked with seniors in nursing homes, but really this is for the wounded warrior or a person who maybe played football and hurt themselves and now their function is really bad. So I have also had many injuries, a head injury in my 20s. And I have people seem to gravitate towards me that have these old injuries, head injuries, car accidents, and they don't know why their knee is so debilitated or their ankle or their hip. And so this movement brings the function back in every muscle, tendon, and ligament and joint in the body. You can recover from any trauma, even emotional. Even chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis. You can heal it all. You have the capacity. God has designed it within you.
Now, I remember when we published your book, it was last fall, and there are lots of pictures in there where you demonstrate these movements, these stretches, and you might not want to do them in a crowded room of strangers the first time you go through the book, right? How did you stumble onto this work? It's so unique.
Well, I had my own injuries, and I loved sports. And I just would push through things. And this is what I find a lot with people is we have so much stress and we just push through, even if it could be sciatica and we don't know what to do about it. But we tend to be the type of people that push through and just go through the pain and keep doing and keep working harder and keep doing the sports really fast. But this really is the antidote to if you can't run to your chiropractor all the time and you can't run to your massage therapist, you can look in this book and do 5 to 10 minutes and get relief and feel the peace of God resting over your body.
How does it compare to that? Boy, that sounds exciting. How does this compare to regular stretching and exercise?
So this is not stretching and it's not exercise. Exercise uses the cerebellum, which is a different part of the brain, and we are exclusively using the sensory motor cortex, which basically goes from your left ear to the top of your head and your right ear to the top of your head. So this part of the sensory motor cortex is connected to every muscle in the body. And could you repeat that again?
Yeah, I was just saying, how does it compare with regular running and stretching?
So with stretching, you've heard it said that you can hurt yourself if you stretch before you run. So that's because we're also straining in the stretch. So I'm going to give you an example here. Okay. This might be a stretch where you're going to stretch I'm stretching my right shoulder, and the technique is that I'm going to hold it for 30 to 60 seconds and it's going to lengthen my muscle, but it doesn't. It springs back like a rubber band. And you know that if you hurt that shoulder, it's probably not even going to feel good. But if I can transfer that into something that's gentle and using both sides of the body, including the eyes and the head, and maybe doing even a 360-degree movement. So this is a difference. And the difference is that I'm activating probably more like 10 to 15 muscles, where this stretch is literally doing nothing. It's a waste. It's really just wasting your time because the somatic movement is connecting to the brain and the stretch is not. It feels good. It's not that you can't do it. But if you replace some of your movements with somatic movements, you don't have to stretch anymore.
I'm a runner. Would it help a runner? Can it help me, or is the Divine Unwind only for someone in pain or for an older person?
No, it's also preventative. So if you've ever had a sprained ankle, Michael, or if you've ever had anything happen to you.
I used to always twist my ankles every year, and it's painful. Right. I would have to get crutches and everything.
Right. Yeah. So that eventually will, when I'm jogging on it, running on it constantly, those ankles probably aren't as flexible as they used to be and can get wear and tear just from the pounding and not being flexible. So the flexibility is the key. So when you do some ankle movements with, circles or whatever, you can get the flexibility back and you will actually get the bounce more in your steps. So if you do some somatic movements before you run, you might feel immediately like you had a massage, or if you do enough of them, or you might feel like you have more bounce in your step and that you have now connected to the youth that you had when you were younger.
Oh, awesome. Well, can you give us an example of how someone who hikes maybe can use these movement?
So really what I'm trying to get across is that it's not just for, seniors who are 80 and over or anything like that. It's something that's very user-friendly. So if you're hiking and your low back starts to hurt and you have taken my course in these movements, or you've studied the book and you've learned the movements, when you go hiking, you'll know which movements to do. You could look for a flat rock, lie down on the rock, do a few movements, and get up with no pain and finish your hike. So that's how user-friendly it is. It's great for golfers, tennis players, rotational sports can also be unwound.
Well, can you show us a movement maybe for our viewers here on Facebook and everywhere, and they're commenting where they're watching from? Show us an unwind movement that we could do
Sure, an
safely.
unwind movement. So the Spanish dancer is sitting on the floor, but you could also do it sitting at your desk on a swivel chair. Your chair doesn't have to swivel, but if you have a swivel chair, it would be really great. So I'm going to move this so you can see. We put our feet to the side and put one hand down and turn the eyes, head, and body to the side and look around the room. So all of you can do this with me if you want. In fact, before we start, why doesn't everybody close their eyes and just notice where they are at this moment? And notice how your body feels. Notice where your shoulders are in space, where your head is in space. Notice your sitting bones. Notice if your head is forward. So I just decided to do a different movement with you. So as you're sitting there, I want you to round your shoulders and notice how this kind of makes the neck kind of disappear, and slowly roll the shoulders out, and notice how it's almost like a turtle's head coming out of a shell. And then roll the arms in. This is the butterfly. And slowly roll the arms out. And I'm doing this sitting, but it is lying down in the book. So roll the arms in and tighten your belly. And inhale and open the chest. So that's the butterfly, which really works with the jaw, the facial muscles, the sternocleidomastoid. It opens these pecs. The pec minor rolls the arms in, and the lower abs. What does that do? So I can do a somatic movement, and it'll cover 30 muscles that will start to lengthen the neck and open the chest. So as we're aging, we're not getting like this. We're actually getting taller, getting longer, and finding that youth.
Wow, that's powerful. I just love that. Now I know you've designed an 8-week course over 30 days, so people can learn the principles of this book that start June the 6th. And I've actually grabbed some photos from your Facebook here of some of your your classes and your outdoors. And even you're going to love this one. Check out this slide where you launched the book at your we had the launch party last fall there on the red carpet, which actually was in the Orange County. You drove up, and I flew in for that. So very exciting. I do want you though to tell us a little bit about the class you've got coming up. Tell us a little bit about this June 6th event.
I think it's June 7th. Let me double check. It's next Saturday.
Okay, June 7th.
6th.
Now the 1 through 3 p.m.
Right,
Pacific.
right. It's the 6th. You're absolutely right. So I have a course that's designed around the Divine Unwind book. So in 30 days, especially in lockdown right now, it's a good time to take your healthcare into your own hands and become your own practitioner. So it's 2 hours a week, 1 to 3 on Saturdays, and you will get the tools you need to have. When you finish the movements, you'll feel like you had a whole body massage. I've had people say they feel revived, they feel more focused. And so that is starting this coming Saturday.
Now, is that an online or is that an in-person event with you in California?
Because of the pandemic right now, I'm scheduled to do it online on Zoom. If things lift, they're not allowing hands-on classes yet here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's beautiful. I travel a lot, and last year I was in a plane or on the road 166 nights in 20 countries. So I actually, as we were editing your book and things, I took some of those movements and exercises and stretches that you have, and totally helped me so much. And how do people get a hold of you? How do they sign up for the class? Is it at somaticlife.com?
On my website, somaticlife.com. Anyone can send me a personal email, Soma, S-O-M-A, Linda, @gmail.com. And I have Zoom classes also that are going very well from the privacy of your own home.
What was that email again? Give it to me and I'll put it on the screen.
Soma Linda at gmail.com.
Okay. What's a final closing word or thought you want to leave everybody for health purposes here? What's a good health tip? I mean, the one you showed us there was great, but for somebody that I know, New York and California particularly, and Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois, a lot of people are still shut in. But even people that maybe because of health issues or whatever, their age, that can't get out, show us or tell us some good tips and what they can find when they go to your website.
Well, I want all of you to know that there is hope. If you're hooked on pain meds, if you have old trauma, you can take control of the trauma by awakening this part of the brain. And you can do the online classes. There's so many resources. I have a video. I don't have it here, a picture of it, but I have a video of the 30 movements that Michael just posted, the girls in my video, that we filmed here at Lake San Marcos. You can do an audio CD of the book. There's so many ways to learn. Keep learning as you're aging, and you can only get better. I'm 61 and I can run now, and I couldn't run 10 years ago.
Oh, Linda, that's really exciting, and there's a lot of hope there. And people are living longer, and I like what the old guy said on the TV the other day when he was turning 100, and the news anchor said, "What words of wisdom?" He said, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself." And so people can take better care of themselves by reading Divine Unwind and emailing you today, right now, somalinda@gmail.com. And you're right there in sunny Southern California. And that's a big plus, because that's a big, I was a little depressed when I moved from Huntington Beach because I enjoyed breathing that ocean air. So I need to get back on this with you. And so check out Linda. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy Sunday to be with us. And thanks everyone for watching us here on the Author Spotlight. It's been a blast today, from Dr. Simon Rosenberg to Claude Collins in Dallas, and now here to wrap up with somebody to get us moving again and getting healthy again post-pandemic and during the mid-pandemic. So thank you so much, Linda. Have a great day. And from the Author Spotlight, hey, we got another comment here. We'll see you. And look, there's one of your rabid fans, one of your happy fans.
I have to get my Facebook page up. It's hard to do both at the same time.
Thanks, Linda. I'll end that, and then I'll